Stop. There we go.
Because
Okay.
parents, I texted you, parents did it.
Good, it's good.
Okay, I'm sorry for all this delay. Okay, the two dots, Daf Lamed Vav Amid Aleph. How many doors open? Yeah, Hamamayanes, Ein Lo, Ein, yeah, right? That's what we're up to. So Hamamayanes, Ein Lo, Loi Knas, Loi Pitu. So
Jacob, sorry.
Hamamayanes-
Jacob, before you start, what time tomorrow?
I have no idea. What time is Shabbos?
It's getting earlier, like 6:15, 6:20.
6:15, 6:20. It's a shorter daf.
So 5:35?
5:35, saying 6:15.
36 miles to empty.
Okay, yeah, 5:35 is fine.
And 9:45, Mr. Shabbos?
No, we could do it earlier. What time is ice already?
Shkia is 7:56 over here.
7:56. So that means 8:08. Right?
9:08. Yes, 9:30?
9:08 is ice. 9:30, yeah. 9:30.
Okay,
Fine.
very good.
How about 10 o'clock
10 miles
Saturday
to the
night?
house.
Aaron Zweig, I'm sorry. I don't know. 10 o'clock is a little late for the Ailonis.
Which direction?
They're very from in Memphis.
Yeah.
Mail us some bread, then you could ask us.
Oh, now you're talking a little bribery. Little bribery.
It'll get to you. It'll get to you stale.
So where is it? To the right?
Well, that's your problem, then we're not changing the time.
Yeah. Sorry, Aaron. Okay,
Not as
anyways.
sorry as I am.
Oh, very good. Very good. Appreciate it. So anyways, okay, so Mamayanes ain't like knas for like pita. So we said somebody does miyun, a woman, right? Again, a little Yavamas, this Chazara, which is that Mamayanes is the girl that was married. She was married by her brother and her mother, and she couldn't walk out on the marriage. So if she did that, she doesn't get knas. If they were honest, so she doesn't get knas for like pita, which she said is the same thing, right? So Gemara's mashma katana ba'al isla. Mashma that if she stama be a katana, because again, somebody who does miyun is a katana, right?
Where are you saying?
On Lamed Vav Aleph, on the two dots, Lamed Vav Aleph.
On the okay, I'm sorry. Okay, fine.
Yeah, no, that's where we left off, right? The two dots, like.
Fine, it's fine.
Baron, I
Yeah,
can't
okay.
help myself. We're doing Keshubos. It's really for March.
I'm thank you because it sounds a lot like Yavamas to me,
Sure, yeah, it's true. Okay, our man is ain't like knas for like pita, so she doesn't get any of the knas. But mashma, because again, somebody does miyun means she's a katana. Because once she's a gedolah, as we learned in Yavamas, then she can't do miyun. So a katana ba'alma isla, mashma that a katana does get a knas. Now, if you remember, we said in the first Amud in the parak of Ailonis, we said that it's a machlokes whether katana has or not. So money, who is it? Rabbanani. It's Rabbanan da'amri katana yesh lo knas. That they hold that you do have a knas for a katana, not like R Meir who holds that it's right with the mayor that a katana does not have knas. Right, so Ema Sefer, but what about the Sefer? Ailonis, Ema loy knas v'loy pita. So an Ailonis, that's a woman who can't have kids, so she doesn't get knas. Also, the R Meir, that must be going because the R Meir dama katana ain't lo knas. That it must be going R Meir who calls a katana that's no knas. V'amekatnusa yotzes levaga. And when we said in Yavamas, we said that basically an Ailonis does not have naira time. Right, she doesn't have naira time. What she does is she goes straight from being to a bogeres. So obviously there's no naira there. So Reish Rabbanim is safe for R Meir. So it comes out that you have to say the Reish is going according to Rabbanim that a katana gets a knas, and the safe was going like R Meir, who holds a katana does not get a knas. That if you're going to say that the whole brisa is R Meir. Umanis, some like Rabbi Yehuda, and by Memanis he holds like Rabbi Yehuda, right? So then miyun by Rabbi Yehuda holds that an ayah could do miyun. So maybe the whole thing's R Meir, And by miyun, he holds like Rabbi Yehuda, who says that miyun can be done by naro. Does he really hold like Rabbi Yehuda? Could a daughter do this miyun? Again, miyun is walking out on the marriage. Until when can she do this? Until she has 2 hairs. He said, no, 2 hairs is not enough. She has to have enough hair, enough pubic hair, that the black overcomes the white. Now, the white is not white hair. The white is referring to the skin. Whatever it is, so Rabbi Yehuda says, so Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda clearly are not agreeing until when she could do miyun. So that can't be. So we're saying right now that it has to be that the ratio of the brisa is Rabbi Meir, and the safe is the Rabbanon. I'm sorry, ratio is Rabbanon, and safe is Rabbi Meir. Elo, Rabbi Yehuda, it must be Rabbi Yehuda. With Tanna, so like Rabbi Meir. But by Katana, the whole brisa must be Rabbi Yehuda that you can do miyun. But by Katana, he must hold like Rabbi Meir. The Gemara says, does he really hold like Rabbi Meir? Rabbi Yehuda Marav, Zu Dever Rabbi Meir. He says, this is what Rabbi Meir holds. Isa, and if it's true, it should be Zu Dever Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda Mibayla. Meaning, if Rabbi Yehuda really holds a Rabbi Meir, so then it should have been both Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. It shouldn't have just said Zu Dever Rabbi Meir. So when it answers, Hi Tanna, Savalak Rabbi Meir, Bechado, Polagala Bechado. No, so this Tanna has a different thing. He goes like Rabbi Meir with one, and he goes like Rabbi Yehuda and the other, right? Meaning not Rabbi Yehuda. Is it Rabbi Yehuda? No, I don't know if it's Rabbi Yehuda. He holds like Rabbi Meir about the knas in one, and he doesn't hold like Rabbi Meir in another. Rafram Omar, Rafram says he says no, the whole thing could be Rabbi Meir. My man, that's what it says. When it says miyun, what does it mean? Miyun? It means a woman who is right to do miyun. Not that she is actually going to do it, right? It just means that she's right to do miyun. But listening ketanas, okay, so then why don't you just say ketana? Right? So kasha, the Gemara says it's a kasha. Okay, so the Gemara is leaving off by kasha. That's also Rabbar. How many times say kasha in Yavamis? This is similar to Yavamis, right? How many times did the Gemaras in Yavamis leave off with the word kasha? Right? Anyways, fine. So then the Gemara continues. Ailonis, ain la loy knas v'loy pita. So again, we said Ailonis, the woman who can't have a kid, doesn't have knas and pita. Yeah. I'm just gonna get gas here in a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. So Ailonis ain la loy knas v'loy pita. Ailonis doesn't get knas and not pita. You're a mineral ask you stira. A chareshes, somebody who's deaf, a shaita, and a dumb, somebody who's dumb by Ailonis. Yeshlan knas, they get knas. Yeshlan tainis besulim, and they also have tainis besulim, right? So what do you see? That you see Ailonis does get knas, meaning it's a straight out stira. We're saying in our mishna, Ailonis doesn't get the knas, meaning if somebody rapes an Ailonis, she does not get the knas, or her father doesn't get the knas. But here it says an Ailonis does. So the Gemara says, what's your kasha? R Meir, R Rabbanon. One is going according to R Meir, which we said before is only a naira and not a katana, and R Meir, and one is talking about a Rabbanon, who holds that a katana could. And meaning an Ailonis, like he said, an Ailonis jumps from katana to bogeres. She does not have the naira stage because she can't have kids. The naira stage is usually be'era from 12 to 12 and a half. And that's when she undergoes puberty, but an Ailonis doesn't have that. So an Ailonis is jumping straight from katana to bogeres. A katana, according to Rameir, does not get a knas if she's raped, and a bogeres doesn't get a knas. Somebody says with the karila, my karila. Okay, so it's a pasha de teretz. One is talking about Rameir, and one is talking about Rabbana. So then, what were you thinking with the karila, my karila? What's your havamina? So when I answer he had a different kasha. It's an interesting Rashi. If you look at the Rashi, like 6-7 lines up from the wide lines, he says because he had a kasha to ask, meaning he didn't bring this brisa to the besmedrash. He had another kasha to ask. I mean, he had a different kasha. So really, the first brisa, when the Gemara brought the stira of Ailonis, That wasn't his kavanah. He knew that the answer there is haramei harabana. But he had a different kasha, which Gemara is going to say now, and that's why he introduced this whole thing. So acharesh is, what is it? Acharesh is a shaita of a bogeres. Right? It's a woman who's deaf, and she's a shaita and a bogeres, a mukas eitz. Ein lahen tainis besulim. You cannot have tainis besulim on them. Right? Because why? Because, so mukas eitz, like we learned in the first parak, these are all women who are not going to have the hymen there. Right? So hasuma of Ailonis yeshlan tainis besulim, but a suma and Ailonis do have tainis besulim. Sumcha says R Meir suma ain't la tainis besulim, and Sumcha says in R Meir that a suma does not have tainis besulim. Right? The other brisa said that the other brisa had said that it does. Right? So the Gemara answers, I'm Rav Sheshes like Kasha or Rav Gamliel or Rav Yehoshua. One is talking about Rav Gamliel and one is talking about Rav Yehoshua. Again, going back to the first parak. Meaning when the husband is having a fight with the wife and saying that she was mizana, she's not a basula and she was mizana. And she says, yeah, I was, but it was before we were engaged. So therefore, I'm not us. Right? So one is talking about Rav Gamliel, who says she doesn't have, she doesn't lose it. And Rav Yehoshua says she's not believed. Right? So therefore, one brisa that says that there's tainis besulim is going like Rav Gamliel. And the other one that says it's not, there's going according to Rav Yehoshua. So when I ask, same the Shama says Rav Gamliel, that's only where Rav Gamliel believed her, that's where she said something. But if she didn't say anything, is he really going to believe her? Right? Maybe Rav Gamliel only says that when she says, yes, I'm not a basula, but I'm not a basula from before we were engaged. So when I answer is no, in Kivan Damar Rav Gamliel Mahemna, since Rav Gamliel says she's believed, and the Gemara here says a very interesting teretz. Since we know that if theoretically she could open her mouth and talk, then she would say that it happened before they were engaged. So even though now she's not saying anything because she's a shaita or she can't talk or whatever it is, we're gonna make that taina for her, right? So that's what's saying. Meaning somebody who's this is almost like, what do you call it? It's like a disability act. Even though if she does not have the ability to say anything, we still will taina for her. So therefore, Rav Gamliel's taina will apply. Fine. Then the Gemara says, "But bogeres ain't with tainis besulim. Bogeres doesn't have tainis besulim." So this Gemara is not halacha l'maisa, right? But that's we're going to see later in the Masechta what the halacha l'maisa is. But a bogeres again is any woman that over the age of 12 and a half, you can have no taina of besulim. Meaning, if the guy doesn't find any besulim, there's no taina. Oh, so the Gemara says, "V'amara bogeres noisin la laila harishan." A bogeres, you give her the whole first night. Meaning, if he's dumb, the whole first night, we're just assuming that it comes from the hymen. Hymenal bleeding is not uterine bleeding, and therefore she's not a nida. Right? So even though she's bleeding, they could still be together the whole first night because the assumption is it's hymenal. So you see that we do assume, meaning if she's not going to have besulim, and you can't have a taina besulim, so why isn't she a nida right then and there if she sees dumb? Meaning we're saying that a bogeres is you can't have any tainas besulim, right? That means that we're assuming that she does not have any hymen. And now we're saying, but now Rav is saying that if she sees dam, we're assuming it's hymenal, and therefore she's not a nida. How could that be? That means that we do expect her to have a hymen.
Why can't you say that you don't assume, but if she's bleeding, you can apply it to that? You don't have a tainis besulim, but if she is bleeding, then you
so very good.
It's from there.
Good. Oh, very good. So I think what you're saying is the Gemara's teretz. Let's see. Either katan tainis damim hachanami. If he was saying that he expected to see blood and he didn't find blood, so hachanami, because then hachanami, then yes, you could have a tain on her. Right? Because we assume that there's going to be dam. But here we're talking about the Ketar Tainis Pesach Pasua. He's saying that he had a Pesach Pasua. So Pesach Pasua is, what do you call it? That already he has no taina on. Meaning, because she's a bogeres, so the hymen is considered naturally naturally she's considered more open. So therefore, since she's considered more open, so he can't Tanna, oh, it was so smooth. It was so smooth. Therefore, she must have been together with a man. That he can't Tanna. But if she doesn't have dam, that he could Tanna. I don't know if Dr. Corman is on or not. We really need Dr. Corman for this. I can't understand exactly what this means. It means it's basically saying that you can't expect her. You're expecting her to have dam. So if there's no dam, you can have a Tanna on her. But if it's easy, the tashmish is easy, then you can't have a Tanna on her. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. It means she's partially open, I guess. I don't know. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yaakov, there's
So,
a great joke
yeah.
over here if you want to hear it. If not, not.
What I couldn't. What, somebody said a joke or is it text?
No, I wrote the joke in my Gemara last time.
Okay, go ahead. Why not? A little.
This is Mamish's case is like the shikha goes into the liquor store and he buys a half pint of schnapps and he puts it in his back pocket. And he comes out of the store and he falls down on the floor and he feels by his tuchus, it feels very wet. So he says, I sure hope that's blood. It's perfect for the Gemara. It's perfect for the Gemara. What can I tell you?
That's in your Hagayos on the Gemara?
Yeah.
I can't wait till the whole sefer comes out, Darn.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Rabbi, the best part about the mishna is that you wrote it in your Gemara. That's the best part of the mishna.
It's true. I mean, it happens to fit into this Gemara as well, right? It's just a strange thing that you expect her to be pasuach. You can't expect her to be closed. Open, she's going to be open, but dam, that you can expect. So it sounds like, I don't know, again, it must be there's like a partial, it's partially like that, which is the way, by the way, it is in the Metzias nowadays. So most women most women are not getting married at 12. They're getting married as bogeres. So Mamela, they can't expect any hymen to be there, but there's usually some form of uncomfortable for them, but some of them have downright pain. Yeah. Okay.
Who's eating those chips, man? I gotta know what flavor they are.
Mesquite barbecue, Harris kettle, throws.
I'm just wondering what's going on this whole car ride. I'm listening to you.
Shroyal is chomping. Shroyal, can you chomp away, man?
And then we got the juniors in the car. I don't know what's a worse influence, this Daf or going to a county fair in Pennsylvania.
It's definitely better than the calls in the back from the speakers in camp.
Okay, that's true.
Sounds like I tell you,
point.
Shroyal's chomping away over there, man.
He's almost finished. It's not that big a bag. He's almost finished. By the way, I don't know how he's.
Bro, we didn't understand the word you just said, Stroil.
I'll be honest with you. I don't understand how he's eating chips without washing his hands, because if you would have seen those bathrooms, okay, the bathroom is basically a sink, and everybody just goes into the
One
sink.
second. Who we kidding? Stroil didn't use the bathroom.
He went to the bathroom. He made me come in to see it.
Isn't that the whole show?
What? Anyway.
I'm rummy.
If that's the worst thing you talk about the county fair, then you're in good stead, you know?
That's 100%. 100%. Okay, but yes, Suma ain't latinus besulim. So a blind woman does not have you can't have a tinus besulim. My time is the sumchas. Why does sumchas hold you can't have tinus besulim? Because the suma falls down on the floor. So if she falls down on the floor, a lot of times she can injure herself, and then she won't. The hymen will get ruined. So the Gemara says, "Kulu nami everybody falls on the floor." So the Gemara answers, "Kulu rayos umaras leiman." Everybody else who could see, a regular girl who could see. So if she sees dam or she sees something, she's going to show it to her mother. Zu eina raya. She doesn't. The blind girl never. She doesn't see it. So she doesn't show it to the mother. Right. So meaning so what? So the point is that if somebody marries a blind woman, he can't assume. He can't assume that everything's okay. Meaning if it was a regular woman and she fell down, so the mother has to say, by the way, she's not a besulim. Come on. Right? She's not a basula. Okay, fine. And if she goes out b'shem ra, meaning if there might see shem ra on her, so there's a rumor that goes out about her that she was mizana, so she gets they got divorced. So then she also, if somebody is ma'anas her, then there's no knas and no pitu. So Gemara says, what do you mean? She's a baskil. She got much bigger issues than if she's raped. They don't pay her the knas. She's a baskila because she was mezana. There's rumors that she went out and she was mezana. This is what it's saying. If she was a rumor about her when she was younger, right? Not when she was married. Then, but before that, then there's no knas. So Amar Rav Papa Shmami no high star raya like magminulay. A star that has a rayas to it, meaning a star that has a rumor that, by the way, the guys that signed on this star were crooks or liars or whatever it is, then you're not allowed to use that star to collect. Right? Meaning the same way, somebody who had a shame ra, a woman had a shame ra, we don't assume that she was a basula, so we're going to say the same thing here. So, hey, Chidami, what's the case? If you say that there was a rumor about it, the shtara, the zaifahu, if there was a rumor that it's a false star, the kavazahacha, the nafakala kala dazanai, and the same thing here. Similarly, by the woman, there's a call that goes out that she was mazana. Yeah, va'amar rava yatzel l'shem mazana be'ir. If a rumor goes out that a woman is mazana in the city, ain choshishan, we're not concerned for it. Elo. So what was it saying? The asu beit treva amri, two men came and said, she came to us and asked us to sleep with her. The kavasaha, what must it be here? The asu beit treva amri liditu amr lahu zayfili. They came to us and said, can you be mezayif? Can you forge the signatures? So it was more than just a rumor. So Gemara says bishlam some shchichi fruitzin. So it must be if she went and she asked, did she propose these guys to sleep with her, and they didn't. So I'm sure she'll go on to the next guy till she finds somebody. So the assumption is she's not a basula. If he's hochsuk, is everybody in Klal Yisrael hochsuk? So meaning, so why should you equate a star with a woman? No, we're going to stay here too. Since this guy is running around looking for people to fall, so he must find it. Did I lose the Ilam?
Just about.
You got a little choppy, but we hear you. Now we lost you.
Oh, now I hear Stroil chewing. Liner, I'm not sure what's worse.
Yeah, what? I'm not coughing or anything. Or
I know, but it's very similar. You're muted, Sviak.
You're muted.
Yeah, hello. How bad did I lose the Ilam? At what
Right
point?
by the Mishnah.
Oh, so we got up to the Mishnah? Okay. Okay, so Zok the Mishnah, yeah? Ve'elu she'en le'en knas. These are the ones that don't have a knas. Haba like a yoris, vala shvuya. This is the opposite of the first Mishnah in the parak. Right? If somebody's born a giyoris, or somebody was captured on a shippa, sheniftu, shenistayru, shenishtachru. Right? So you say meaning that this all happened to them when they were above 3 years old. So the assumption is that they were the goyim got to them, and therefore they don't have besulim. A shvuya sheniftis, a woman that was redeemed, so she considered b'kedushasa, even though she was captured when she was a gedolah, which we had before in the Masechta, and then we're going to see it by. Again, the second case here is the chiddush is that even though the woman is captured, we're still going to assume that she is a besulim, and then she's also mutter for kahanim. Yeah, fine. Haba al bitay. Then if somebody is boil his daughter, meaning he's mizana, he's manas his daughter, bas bitay, his granddaughter, bas benai, also granddaughter al bas ishtay, his stepdaughter al bas benah, and her granddaughter al bas bita, also granddaughter ain lo knas. There's no knas. Neishem is chaya benafshay, because they're chaya misa. Shemisosem b'dei bezdin. They get misa b'dei shema, misa from bezdin. B'cholam is chaya benafshay ain mishalam mammon. And somebody who's chaya misa doesn't have to pay money. Shenemar bin lahiya asayin. If there's going to be, we said, if there's two men are fighting, and if she didn't die, so then onish yanish, they get punished and they have to pay. But if they didn't die, then they don't have to pay. Right? So again, the first mishna in the parak was where they were chayiv kares. So since they're chayiv kares, so therefore, even though it was a machlokes, but therefore they would be chayiv the knas, because we don't say come to the rab. But here it's a misa bidei adam, right? It's misa from Bezdin. So therefore we're going to say kumla b'deramine, and therefore they're not going to get the knas. Right? So that's the second part of the mission. Okay, so Gesagti Gemara, Rabbi Yehoshua, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Daisa, Amud davar echad. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Daisa are saying the same thing. Rabbi Yehuda had Amar. Rabbi Yehuda is what we said in the Mishnah, that a woman who was captured, even when she's older, we assume that she was not ma'anaser. A shvuy is allowed to eat that he is kosher to marry a kohen. So this is quite an interesting line in the Gemara. Just because he's but they're not going to actually be mizana with her. That's the way the Gemara. You lost me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't just. You got me. Am I good now or not? Hello?
You have
Yeah,
to say
you were
from
good now.
Reb Daisa again, Reb Yaakov.
Okay, I'll say Reb Daisa again. Okay. I'm pulling over with the have yeah. Am I good still?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Siakam, you better find
Okay,
the gas station. You better find the gas station so Srel could get another bag of chips.
Yes, well, this is a cigar tobacco outlet that we just parked, and we'll see what he comes out with now.
That's it. That's good. Send the kids in there.
Yeah, it's better for this next line. Anyway, so I'm Reb Daisa. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm Reb Daisa. What is this? What is this? Just because the rubber press. Rashi says they're not going to treat her as hefker, but they're not going to actually.
You're choppy again.
Yeah, no, we lost you again. I'm going to say where, but still the same spot again.
Maybe the Gemara, they just don't want it.
I was about to say, I think they're both sending us a sign.
I mean, the only underage people that are listening to it twice already, the ones in the car. Okay. You still no good?
You want me to just take a picture of the article and send it out?
Good? You know what? Let me just, can you call into the Zoom? And then I go and get cigarettes. Oh, let me just in case we use it. Try my data. What? The same ones, the Camel Crush Ultra Silver. Oh, I'm sorry.
Camel Crushes.
All right, can I be heard now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Wait, just throw out to finish the chips. Okay, am I good now?
Yep.
Yes.
You hear me? Okay, good.
Yes.
So if you look at the Taisus, why Arab? Where all of a sudden did you wonder how when you see Gemara discuss about the Arab? So the Gemara Taisus, third Taisus says, Nokat Arvi Lefishaim Shtupin Bezima. They're mamish into being disgusting. Kedamar Bekidushin. Asara Kavim Zima Yardu Loilam, right? 10 Kavim of being disgusting went into the world, and test Natlu Arvim, and 9 Chalokim of it the Arabs took. What's that?
Why do you think they wear robes?
Oh, okay, I don't know. I don't know if anybody heard that one, but okay. But it's interesting. So if there's such minovalim, how come they're not ma'aneser? Right? It's interesting. I don't know. So that's fine.
Did they say that there was?
Maybe they remember from what's the name? The Avimelech, whatever. Paro,
What?
The ones who started up with Sari, maybe.
I thought it was with Dina, wasn't it? Who was it that they?
That the Shem was with Dina. Shem was with Dina.
Right, but he wasn't Mahanaser in the right way, in the proper way.
Yes, he was. And she was pregnant.
No, somebody else.
I don't know. Not sure. What do you mean? Well, you mean because that's what you think the pshat is? Because if it doesn't sound like it says the way Rashi says it.
I just thought of it. You said that someday those two.
Maybe. Maybe. So what was it? What is the Rashi? Rashi says, I can't find the Rashi. There it is. Okay, maybe. I don't know. They're not noyeg hefker. And loy chashinan shavavola. Okay, whatever it is. So either way, so Reb Dais and Reb Yehuda are saying the same thing. Maybe that's not true. Maybe Reb Yehuda here, the reason why he says that there should be a knas on the woman, even though she was captured, is because otherwise we're going to say chayte niskar. Because what? Because this guy's being ma'anis a woman who was captured, therefore he should save on the knas. Why should he save on the knas? So Rabbi Yehuda says he has to pay the knas. But maybe over there, by Truma, he's going to say the Rabbanan, that we don't believe that nobody messed with her. That's one way to say that they're not saying the same thing. He's only saying about Truma the Rabbanan. Aval knas daraisa, the Rabbanan tzirale. But if somebody a knas, which is a daraisa, maybe he would say like the Rabbanan. Abayas says in the back, does Rabbi Yehuda really say that the reason is that the chayte shouldn't be niskar? For Tanya, Rabbi Yehuda says shvuya shenishbis harei b'kedushasa. Right, a shvuya that gets captured, that she's in her kedusha. Afilu bas eser shanim, even if she's 10 years old. What's still 200? What's chayte there? Meaning that's just saying a woman's besula, a woman who's a besula that was captured, she gets her standard ksuba. Right? That has nothing to do with chayte niska. Right? Why? If you really hold that they were ma'anis her, so she shouldn't get the ksuba. Right? So Hatam Nami Gemara answers no. Dilma Mimni the loy niskila. So the reason why we make her get the ksuba is because the ksuba of 200 is then people are going to stay married. They're going to say, maybe they were mizana with her, right? So then, so that's why we're saying that we still give her the ksuba. Nothing more it says. So Rabbi Yehuda, Bikushasa Kaima. Does Rabbi Yehuda really hold fact she's in the kedusha. But Tanya paid us the shvuya. Somebody who's paid the shvuya, Yisana. If somebody's paid the shvuya, he's allowed to marry her. But if he says edus on her, then he's not allowed to marry her. The Gemara right now in the Havamina, it took me a while to figure this out, thinks that it's the same guy, same case, meaning he first was paid her, and then he said edus that nobody messed with her. Then he's not allowed to marry her. And if he just kept his mouth shut and he was paid her, then he's allowed to marry her. If he redeemed her, then he's not allowed to. If he said edus, then he's not allowed. Whether he did this or he did that, he's not allowed to marry her. The whole Gufa Kasha, this itself, this whole price is a Kasha. Amrit, I played this a Shvuyi Yisana. And it says that if you played it a Shvuyi, you marry her. Or the Tanna Meir, but Lo Yisana. If he says edus, he's not allowed to marry her. The Meir, but Lo Yisana. Because he said edus, he's not allowed to marry her, meaning you're saying he is allowed to marry her because he was paid her. Right? Now you're saying that if he says edus in addition, he's not allowed to marry her, what's the pshat? Gemara answers, Holy Kasha, that's not a Kasha. Hachi Kamar. So now the Gemara changes its understanding of the price. A paid is a shvuya. If somebody's paid a shvuya, and he says edus, then you say no, he's allowed to marry her. But if he says edus on her, then lo yisana, then he's not allowed to marry her. Meaning, if he's paid her and he says edus, then fine. But if he just says edus on this woman, then he's not allowed to marry her. Okay? Why? Because also let's see, so this still is a kasha to Rabbi Yehuda, right? That bottom line is we are choshed that there was some sort of zoseh. So let's just say that Rabbi Yehuda holds that whether he did it or he didn't do it, he can marry her. It's really like the way we learned it. But Rabbi Yehuda is the Brahms of Rabbanon Karmelu. Rabbi Yehuda is talking to the Rabbanon. According to me, I hold anybody can marry her because I hold that we're not choshed that the goyim were madana with her. Or ba'anis her. It's cool, but according to you, it should say, in neither case can you marry her. The Rabbanon, if he's paid her, meaning if he actually paid money, and he said edus, then he's allowed to marry her because a man is not going to take away money and throw it out. Meaning a kohen is not going to be paid to this woman to marry her, and it's not going to be a kosher marriage. How about it's going to be a kosher marriage? Nobody's spending money on it. But yeah.
There's a mitzvah pidyon shvuyim. So what does it have to do if he's going to marry or not marry? There's a chi of pidyon shvuyim.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But he could be paid to her but not marry her.
True. Yeah.
If he's being paid to her to marry her, then you mean?
No, you're asking. You're asking why would he throw away money if he's not going? Because he has a mitzvah pidyon shvuyim.
You mean you're saying that he should be paid to her even if he's not going to marry?
Well, I mean, not just if we have to be paid to a woman. So if there's 20 men give him money, that doesn't mean all the 20 men want to marry her. That's the reason they gave the money. They gave the money because there was an appeal for pidyon shvuyim at Shem Yirachim.
I don't know what to say to that. Meaning, yeah, maybe. Okay, can we say he would have fundraised instead?
Yeah.
I was about to say, Tiago, the Gemara says his money. Mashma, it's a house money you have to use.
Yeah, meaning if he would have said he would have gone a collection, but since he fell in love with her, so he was paid to her. I guess I don't know. Maybe yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. Either way. It would not saying if he's only being paid. Could it be that he's saying it to Ferish? Like I'm being paid in order to marry her? Again, I don't know if he'll get the Tzaddik of the Year award. But All right, maybe. I don't know. I hear the horror. Either way, but that's what Gemara's thinking. It must be that because he's marrying her, so he's not going to waste his money. But but if he's just saying Azus on her, so we're not going to trust him and to marry her because it's not costing him anything. Right? But maybe his eyes were on her, and therefore that's why he's saying the Azus. But otherwise, his Azus is not trust. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop over here because the next one goes down a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry for all the disturbances and all the potato chips. And
No, it's fine. If you could be civil,
Thank you. Thank you.
so we could be civil him over here.
Yaakov did nothing. Don't apologize. We're
good.
happy about it.
Yaakov, where did we have it where it said Ish Ainla, she didn't know man, and I think Rashi says, and maybe Rebbeinu, you can. Rashi says it didn't know.
Not my department. It's Rebbeina's department.
Rebbeinu, if you're still there, where was it? It said the Ish Ain, she didn't know man, and I think Rashi says it means that all the
like a darker.
Like a darker, yeah, but that's not by Dina.
No, who was that by?
No, that's not by Dina. That was not by Dina.
I know, who was it by?
That was by the Emos. When Yishmael went to get the by the Emos. Rivka, I don't know which one. I don't remember, but it's one of the Emos.
But it said all the other women.
Ish lo yada, not.
Yeah,
Ish asher lo yada, something like that.
I'm saying, I think Rashi says there that all the women there used to,
right, they would do it like a darker to say it still came to besulim. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
maybe that's what the Arabs are doing here also.
No, well, why would they be why would they do that to a Jewish woman, a Jewish girl? When they don't care?
No, but I'm saying
you're saying that's the state of
maybe
what they do
ransom
with young girls.
Maybe
that's what they do.
That's what they used to doing. That's how they.
Maybe very good. Very good. That's that. I'm honest. I'm that way. Yeah. Very good.
No, but it could be because they want to make their money, and if these girls come back non-besulim, nobody's going to be paid to them. Is that? I mean, nobody says that shot, at least that I saw. So maybe that's a shot. So maybe Teretz is right. So they'll do Bia Shalai. But we haven't. But we haven't Yavamas. You remember what we came out with? Is Bia Shalai Kedarka considered a basula or ba'ula? I don't remember. I know it was we cleared it. I don't remember. Yeah. All right. I hear that horror. All right.
Yaakov.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I call you?
Depends what subject. I'm in the car with people.